The highly anticipated survival horror game Sons of the Forest has not long released, and today what we're going to be doing is going over 6 tips to give you the best and a head start in Sons of the Forest. If that sounds good to you, subscribe to the channel and stick around for much more Sons of the Forest content and guides. Now, first things first, this starting scene here where you're sat in the helicopter, you can look down at your laptop. Now, if you look around outside the chopper, you'll be able to see the terrain and the vast island that you'll soon be crashing into. But what you may not know is if you close the laptop straight away, you will initiate that first cutscene where you actually crash land. If you do leave the laptop open, that will give you a little bit more time to look around and take in your surroundings. Now we finally crash landed, and the first thing you are going to want to do is scavenge the absolute nuts out of this wreck. There is loads of useful things around here, including a tarp, which you're going to need later on, and also some other funky bits that you may not need just yet, such as C4 grenades, but everything there will help you at some point in your journey on the mysterious island. The next thing you're going to want to do is check where Kelvin is, because you will find him somewhere on the ground. Now, if you don't know, Kelvin is your AI companion. What Kelvin will do is help you. He will gather fish, gather logs, gather all sorts of little things, and also he's very good at pointing out enemies that are nearby. So if one of them is sneaking up behind you, if you look at Kelvin, you'll notice that he is either pointing at them or sheepishly cowering in a corner. Kelvin is a great asset to you, so make sure you pick him up. But if you do want to go it solo and you don't need any help, then you could just leave him there, or potentially get him up just to be a little bit sadistic, and then chop his head off. Next thing you're going to want to do is open up your emergency pack. If you hit I, go into your backpack, you will notice there is an emergency pack, and that will unlock your GPS map, your lighter, and your axe, along with your little survival guide, which will teach you all sorts of things along with building and loads of other funky stuff. The next thing you're going to want to do is get yourself a shelter so you can get some well-needed rest along with Kelvin. So to build a shelter, it is really simple. All you've got to do is lay your tarp down and then place 1 or 2 sticks. If you want your tarp back up and you want to move to a different location, all you've got to do is look at the tarp and hold C. That will pick the tarp up and drop the sticks. So you can pick those sticks back up as well if you want them. But if you don't want to set up a tarp yet and you want to go exploring, open up your map. And what you will see on that map are these green circles here. Don't worry about these, we will get onto those in just a second. Now, depending on where you crashed, I've crashed, luckily, relatively close to the one that we need to be at. But as you can see on the map here, you will land somewhere along this bottom half. If you don't, you'll be able to pick it out relatively easy. If you didn't know, if you press the scroll wheel on your or middle mouse button on your mouse, you can extend the mini-map and be able to see a little bit further. Now, the one that you want to head for is this green location just here. What this is a pretty much a tiny little bunker, and there are loads of these dotted around. These are basically POIs, but so as you go into the bunker, you will notice several things. There is a lot of modern stuff in there. It is not like the old school caves that we see in the original forest. The 3D printer is in here, along with somewhere to sleep and save the game. So if you didn't get your tarp out and you were relatively close to this location, you are quite lucky because this can act as a sort of mini base to work out from at the start of the game. The 3D printer is very useful. The first things you are going to want to craft is the mask and the canteen. The mask will come in handy much later, but the canteen is very useful because it's going to get you a lot of drinking water without having to look for a stream or a water source relatively often. So you've got your cozy bunker set up, you've had a good amount of sleep, you've saved the game and done some other stuff too. Next thing you're going to want to do is find your team. Well, 2 out of 3 of them at least. Unfortunately, the third one is a little bit of a later game item, so you'll have to wait and see what this guy contains, but you do need a shovel to get him, which requires a rebreather and loads of other stuff, so we won't worry about that just yet. The first 2, however, though, include some awesome stuff, one of those being a torch and the other one being a pistol. Now, the pistol is the one that's out at sea, the other one is inland, and then the third one that you don't need to worry about is this guy just here. Also, by this point on your journey, you've probably noticed somebody may be following you around. That is Virginia. You need to be relatively nice to her. Don't try and hurt her. Don't chase her. Just let her do her thing. If she comes towards you, just keep a slight distance and just watch and observe what she does. Later down the line, she will befriend you, and she will be a very valuable asset when it comes to defending your home. Next up, keep off the beaten path. As you can see, there are pathways all over the island. You want to try and stay off of those and stay in the wooded areas, because that way you won't encounter as many cannibals. But when you do encounter those cannibals, try not to go straight in for the attack. The more you attack these guys, the more hostile the rest of them will be towards you. So to make your life a little bit easier, try not to attack them just yet. If you can maintain a little bit of distance between yourselves and those guys, it will definitely help you. Failing that, you've already got your mask, pop that on and they will just observe you, and you can slowly back away and remove yourself from the situation, especially if you end up accidentally near a camp. If you do accidentally stumble across a camp, it's not too much of a problem, because just like the original forest, if they do knock you out, all they do is capture you and take you back to their base. And what that will do is you'll have to escape, grab your bag, and get the hell out of there. Don't worry, Kelvin will reappear, he will follow you around. But if he does get attacked throughout this, he will go down. You can get him back up, luckily. But unlike Kelvin, you only have one shot. If you go down twice in the same day, that is a game over and you'll have to continue from a previous save. Next up, pretty self-explanatory, but craft yourself some simple weapons. A spear, a bow and arrow, because ammo is scarce. You do not want to be using all of your pistol ammo, especially this early, because you don't know when you're going to get some more. Keep an eye on your ammo reserves and don't worry too much about using that pistol. Craft yourself loads of arrows, use loads of spears if needs be. If the cannibals aren't attacking you at this stage, then don't worry too much about them. And finally, find a place to call home. Get somewhere built up nice and early on, or you could potentially live out of the little bunker, but you obviously can't build too much in there, so storage-wise, you're going to have to build yourself a home on the outside. Now, the best place I recommend is a location either by a waterside so you don't have too many places to defend, because they will not swim, and or on the edge of a cliff. If you can get on the edge, like I say, you've only got a certain area to look out for. Limit the cannibals' approach for later game stages when they are coming at you in full force. Thank you for watching today. I hope it has helped. If it has, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support us a little bit further, consider becoming a member. For now, that is it from me. We'll be back later on with part 2 of our Sons of the Forest playthrough, and then tomorrow we have loads of other videos planned as well, including where to find the rebreather, the shovel, the grappling hook, and loads of other good stuff. Subscribe to the channel, stick around for more Sons of the Forest. I've been Wyatt, you've been awesome, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.